What up, YouTube? And welcome back to another Spanish vocabulary flashcard study video. And again, I'm going to do 10 vocabulary study cards slash flashcards. And they're going to be 5 going into, translating from Spanish to English, and then 5 translating from English to Spanish. All right. I'm going to start off with translating from English to Spanish because it's more difficult to translate into your foreign language than your native language. And I usually like to do difficult things first and kind of like get them out of the way. So there you have it. All right, so let's get into this. All right, our first card, here we go. All right, in English we have to lie. To lie, as in to tell lies. All right, here we go. And I'm not looking. All right, so to lie. All right, I'm thinking that is mentir. Yes, R. So it should be the X accentuation or the stress lands on the last syllable if it ends in like a consonant, except N or S. So mentir. All right, so let's check. Is it mentir? Yeah, mentir. That's to lie. Mentiroso, mentirosa. That's like, liar. And I think it might be able to be used as like an objective maybe as well. So yeah, and by the way, I'm just doing this totally random. This wasn't rehearsed or anything. So again, this is just going to show how much I know or how much I don't know. All right, so 1 down, 10 to go. But, sorry, 9 to go. All right, here we go. Next one. Let's see what we got. Have. All right, so here we go. We got have. And I think that is medio. Medio. Let's check. Yep. Medio, media. It depends, on the what you are talking about. But yeah. Medio, media. When you tell time, it's like, oh, 6:30. It's son las 6:30 because time is in the feminine form for some reason. I'm not sure why, but time is done in a feminine form. So it's like 6:30. So like 6:30 or 6:30, literally, I think. Y también la medianoche. So those are like the feminine ways to say it. The masculine ways to say it, I think, I'm trying to think of one. I think you can say el medio for like the half, as in when you're talking about like something like maybe like money or like maybe what's something else? Whatever. I'm getting too off track. But yeah, el medio, la media. See, I told you this wasn't rehearsed. Okay, let's get back to work. Back to business. So was that the first one or the second one? I think that was the first one. No, that was the second one. So here is the third. All right, in English we have stockings. And I think I already did this in the previous video, but I was translating from Spanish to English, but now I'm translating from English to Spanish, stockings. All right, so here's the word. All right, not looking. All right, so las medias. All right, and las medias. Medias. There you have it. Medias. Accentuation falls on the second to last syllable when it ends in when the word ends in a vowel, R, an N, or S. So that's what I'm saying. Las medias. All right. So that was 3. All right. So here's the 4th one. Okay. Older, senior, elder, greater. So we got a whole lot of words there. All right. All right. So I'm going to show you the word, and I'm not going to look. All right. Not looking. All right. I'm thinking it's mayor. I think so. I want to say that. Let's check. Is it mayor? Yep. Mayor. So yeah. Since the word mayor ends in a R, which is a consonant, the stress falls on the last part, the last syllable. Yeah. So mayor, mayor. Yeah. So now what's the 4th one? All right. Let's get one more. So translating from English to Spanish, one more. All right. So here we go. Shellfish. Okay, this one kind of throws me for a loop here. I I'm not sure. Shellfish. I'm not sure. I want to say camarones, but I think that's shrimp. Shellfish. I'm not sure. So I might have one more. Okay. Los mariscos. Okay. Los mariscos. 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 Trying to accentuate that IR part. Because, again, that second to last syllable when it ends in the S. Mariscos. And that is shellfish. Mariscos. All right. So, I got one wrong. All right. I'll do one more going into English. I said it was supposed to be 5, but I'm going to do one more. All right. To score. To mark. To indicate, to dial a phone. Okay, I think I know this one. So I'm going to show it to you guys. Alright, and I'm not looking. Alright, so I think this is marcar. 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 Yep. And really, like, only reason I knew this was it, because I wasn't sure of the other meanings, was because of to dial. I know to dial. So I didn't know it could also mean to score, to mark, to indicate, and well, I knew it meant to dial, but I didn't know it could mean that other stuff too. So, hey, that's pretty cool. So, to score, to mark, to indicate, to dial a phone. Marcar. Marcar. Alright, so that's the end of the English going into Spanish. Now let's go from Spanish to English. Alright, here we go. Here's our first one, and we have la lluvia. La lluvia. So here you have it, la lluvia. And some people may pronounce it with a J sound, the double L, like la lluvia. Lluvia. Some people may pronounce that. Depending on where you come from, it's like a regional thing. I know my first Spanish teacher was Puerto Rican, and she used to pronounce like the double L's and the Y with a just sound, like a J sound. And also, just in case, that the V in the word is pronounced as a B, not a V. So it's about you, Bia, you, Bia. All right, lluvia. All right, so yeah, la lluvia, and that means the rain. Our rain, really. Rain. All right, we got it right. All right. So technically, we're on 8, but I'll say we're on 7. I did an extra English one, and I guess maybe I shouldn't count that, or maybe I should. All right. So yeah. So I did. So we're on 8. Now just work from there. So we're on the 8th one now. All right. So let's get it together. Here we go. To cry. So, someone said to cry. So it's a verb, obviously. To cry. All right. And I think that means llorar. Llorar. Let's check. Llorar. All right. Good job. Good job. Again, the double L can be pronounced with a y sound, and that's usually is standard. Y is standard. Again, the J sound, you may hear some people say llorar, llorar. You may. All right, you may. But in my experience, I tend to hear people pronounce the double L as a y sound. But my first Spanish teacher, she pronounced the double L's and the Y with a J sound. So I was like, oh, it kind of threw me a bit off. Not totally, but it was a bit strange. Like, oh, okay, let me kind of like learn another way to say it, Because sometimes I do find myself saying yo. And I think that comes from her because she was my first Spanish teacher. And it's usually just with the yo, like yo. Like, oh, yo tengo, yo tengo. Sometimes I find myself doing that for some reason. And I think it's from her because that was like my very first introduction to Spanish way back in 2003. All right. So we are on number 9 now. All right. Let's check. Llegar. We've been getting double L's for a minute. I think we might be in the L section, that's why. Llegar. Alright, so here we got llegar. Also, possibly, llegar. Alright, so it means to arrive. To arrive. Let's check. To arrive. Yeah. All right, so now we're on number 10. I think so. I hope so. We're on number 10. All right. Limpio. Limpia. Okay, this one's pretty straightforward. There we go. And I'm not looking. Limpio. Limpio, limpia. Again, the stress. And that means clean. Like, oh, la sala está limpia. Like that. All right, so let's check. So does it mean clean? Clean, all right. So that was number 10. All right. Let's jump to 11. All right. All right, so we got la lingua. La lingua. Okay, so that can mean a couple of things. It can mean tongue, la lengua, or it can mean language. It depends on the context. So let's check. All right, so first, here's the verb. Well, here's the word, la lengua. Not looking. All right, so let's check if I'm right. Tongue, language. And also a good way to remember that is, you know, a lot of times, oh, people kind of say like, oh, what's your native tongue? You know, kind of like in an informal way, but yeah. So that's a good way to remember. All right, so that was 11. And technically we're done, but I think I'm going to do one more. All right, so let's check. La isla. Okay, that's easy. All right, la isla, and that means island. So let's check if I'm right. Island. All right. So yeah, that's the study or the flashcard study video for now. I hope you were able to get something out of it and able to learn something out of it. Able to have at least some entertainment from it as well. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. And one more thing I want to mention, a bit of like, I guess some trivia. At one point, the double L used to be a letter all of its own. It used to be considered a letter of its own. So like double L, it was like, oh, you look up words in the dictionary and you would have to look up, if it started with two L's, you have to look up the double L section. But now it's just, if it starts with an L, no matter if it's a single L or a double L, it's just in the L section. But once upon a time, it used to be in, like the double L used to be considered a letter of its own. I think I may have said a word of its own, but I meant a letter of its own if I did. A letter of its own. You know, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So they were like, you know, L, double L, like that. Doble L. So, yep, there you have it. So thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Feel free to comment, feel free to subscribe, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Your feedback and your support are extremely appreciated and valued. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.